Hello, this is Marky2200 and welcome to my Need for Speed testing series. Today we're going to be ranking all the tier 2 cars from Need for Speed Undercover from worst to best based on their handling, acceleration and top speed. On the previous 3 testing videos we've tested all the tier 2 cars on handling, acceleration and top speed. And in every video they've ended up on a result, and based on that result they've gotten some points. Obviously the higher you finish, the more points you've got. This has been done on every test, and now we're going to see what the result is. As usual, the cars are only upgraded to the max and then left alone, so no visual upgrades, no tuning, no aftermarket body kits and whatsoever. This is usually where I say the positioning is in the top left and the amount of points the car has gotten is on the top right. And while positioning is still on the top left, I've done a different style of infographics, and I will get to that once we are at the 19th place. Any other info like timestamps, driver skills is in the description down below, as well as the point system I've used for this championship. And without further ado, let's see which of the tier 2 cars is overall the worst of the worst. And that at number 19 is the Dodge Challenger SRT8. Right, so now the infographics may look a bit overwhelming, but it is actually very easy and simpler than it looks. So, from left to right, we first have the lap time, which in this case is a 102.61, which is 15th in its respectable tier, so in this case tier 2. The Challenger went from 0 to 200 km an hour in 6.09 seconds and back to 0 again in a total time of 8.31 seconds, excluding my reaction time of course, which was 16th of the tier 2 cars. And then top speed, very easily it has a top speed of 328 km an hour, and that is 17th of the tier 2 cars. And then when it comes to the total points, it got 8 points from the lap time test by becoming 15th, 3 points from the acceleration test by becoming 16th, and 2 points of the top speed test by becoming 17th. As usual, the points the cars receive on the lap time test is double than what they receive on the acceleration and top speed test, as I believe the lap time test is far more important than the other tests. So 8, 3 and 2 together is a total of 13 points, which is the lowest amount of the tier 2 cars. So now you know how I do my championship. We move on to the 18th place, which is the Audi S5. The Audi S5 gained 14 points as opposed to 13 points, and it was incredibly poor in the acceleration test. It was okay-ish in the top speed test, so not a great result. Coming down to number 17, we have the BMW M6, which got most of its points from the top speed test, so it was incredibly poor at the lap time test and the acceleration test, and it has an alright top speed of 349 km an hour. Still, I would not recommend this car at any point. Number 16, we have a legendary car. Unfortunately, we have the BMW M6 performing rather poorly. Again, in the lap time test and top speed test it wasn't that great. Acceleration test it was alright, but again I would not recommend this car for using. And that's generally the case with any car that is below the top 10. Same with the Lexus ISF. It is pretty much the same story as the BMW M6. It has an amazing top speed of 357 km an hour, but in the other test it did extremely poorly. So yeah, do not pick this car. And here at number 14 we have the first of 3 Mercedes. We have the CLS 63 AMG, which scored a fair amount of points in each of the categories, so I would say that this car is consistently below average. You can do well with this car, but I would not recommend picking this car. However, it is not terrible in one category and not great in another category. Here's the second Mercedes, the SL65 AMG, which is the same story. It did well in every single category. Well, I mean, not well, it scored a decent amount of points in every single category, so it's not terrible at one category, but not great either. Coming at number 12, before doing any of the tests from tier 2, I expected this car to be extremely terrible. So that the Shelby GT500 Classic one achieved 12 with a good lap time, but with a terrible top speed is, well, I would say respectable. It is a very fun car to drive, and I would recommend picking up that car if you haven't already. At number 11 we have the BMW M3 E92, which scored a total of 32 points, which it has a low top speed, but it is decent at lap time and decent in acceleration. You can do well with this car again, but it's alright. At number 10 we have the Aston Martin DB9, which scored a total of 33 points, so that's one more than the previous one. And this one, well, it's lacking in lap time and it's lacking acceleration, but it makes up for it somewhat with its, well, respectable top speed of 350 kilometers an hour. Coming at number 9 we have one of my favorite Mercedes of all time. We have the SLR McLaren with a total amount of 39 points. It got most of its points in top speed test, however it did alright in acceleration test and rather lackluster in the lap time test. So yeah, it's alright-ish. Number 8 we have the Audi RS4, which did pretty well in the acceleration test, alright in the lap time test and lackluster in the top speed test. So you can also see, what do you value the most? Do you value handling? Do you value acceleration? Do you value top speed? You can choose the car as you wish, because if you value top speed, do not pick the BMW Z4. However, do you value handling? Well, you can have a pretty great chance with the BMW Z4. So, but this is what it overall has become. So the Shelby GT500, the modern one, is pretty good in acceleration. However, it lacks in top speed. It was decent in handling, but if you really value acceleration, the Shelby GT500 is a very great car to use. But if you value top speed, do not pick this car because it's only 13th. Coming at number 5 we have the first of 3 Porsches, so you know, all the Porsches did well. And the 911 Turbo has a great top speed, it has a pretty good handling, and it's got a average acceleration, making it overall the 5th best tier 2 car of Need for Speed Undercover, scoring a total amount of 78 points, which is good. At number 4 we have the Lamborghini Gallardo LP560-4. I'm just gonna refer to it as the Gallardo. It has a great acceleration, good lap time and good top speed. It is one of the best sounding cars in my opinion from the tier 2 class, which you don't, as we in Holland will say, you don't buy any bread from that, basically meaning it's pretty pointless, but it's a nice gimmick to have. It scored a total amount of 86 points, which is alright. Coming at number 3 we have the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, which scored a total amount of 99 points. 48 points by becoming 3rd in the lap time test, 16 points by becoming 6th in the acceleration test, and 35 points because it has the highest top speed of the tier 2 cars of 365 kilometers an hour. So if you value top speed, there is no better tier 2 car than the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. And overall it's a very solid car to drive, very fun. At number 2 we have the Dodge Viper, which, as I said in the previous video, was not going to be the best tier 2 car because, well, its top speed was just lacking. 346 kilometers an hour only got it to 9th place, and that got it 10 points, which was not enough to seal first place. It does have by far the best acceleration from the tier 2 cars, and its lap time is really respectable too. So if you haven't tried out this car yet, I can strongly recommend this car. Sadly, you cannot pick this car for free. And then at number 1, the Porsche 911 GT2, the best tier 2 car in Need for Speed Undercover, which scored a total amount of 118 points. It got a triple podium, best lap time, 3rd best acceleration, 3rd highest top speed. So the handling was extremely amazing because it's almost a second faster than a Dodge Viper, which got 2nd. Handling is extremely great, acceleration is extremely great, top speed is also extremely great. and it overall is the best tier 2 car. And like I said previously, you can actually get this car for free when you did those jobs for GMAC. I almost didn't remember the name. But when you deliver those cars from GMAC, you can actually pick this car along with the Aston Martin DB9, the Shelby GT500 and the Lamborghini Gallardo from Pink Slips. And well, this is the best tier 2 car, so there's pretty much no reason, unless you really like any of the other cars, to not pick this car. So that was that. Those were all the tier 2 cars from Need for Speed Undercover, ranked from worst to best, with the Porsche 911 GT2 being the overall best tier 2 car. And that was it for the tier 2 cars. The next testing video will be all of the tier 1 cars from Need for Speed Undercover, ranked from worst to best based on their lap time, which is going to be extremely exciting, and I'm certainly looking forward to testing those cars. But this has been it for this video. If you've liked this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of that. If you wish to stay updated on all my future videos, and especially with the tier 1 videos, consider subscribing. This has been Marky2200, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.